And today I want to talk about the reality of selfishness. Everybody, selfitis. Now, what is selfitis? Selfitis is a mental disorder. Are you aware of that? For example, the first minimum sign of a mental disorder of selfitis is this: borderline. If you take your own picture, selfie, 3 times a day, but you don't post it, you are borderline. However, if you post 3 times a day and you post it in the social media, you have acute selfitis. Now, if you have chronic selfitis, it's uncontrollable urge to take photos round the clock and posting on social media more than 6 times a day. How many of you are afflicted with selfitis? Raise your hands. Nahihiya kayo, ano? Now, I will introduce to you a new word. It's called selfietitis. What is selfietitis? Everybody, let's read this together. It is a spiritual disease characterized by excessive preoccupation with oneself and needs without thinking of others. In other words, selfishness. In other words, self-centeredness. You have many names for selfietitis. Preoccupation with yourself, self-absorption. It's all about you. I, me, myself. Now, don't raise your hands. Ask yourself, are you guilty of selfishness? Selfishness is so subtle. I remember the story of a man. He knocked on the door of the neighbors. And the wife, there was a lady, I don't know if he's married or not, the lady opened the door and he looked at the man, and the man was sad. And the man said, I'm sorry to disturb you. We have a neighbor who needs help. He has no more job. His family is going hungry. And they're about to cut off his electricity. And worst of all, this afternoon, he'll be kicked out of his apartment if he does not pay the rent. The lady said, of course, I like to help. By the way, who are you? I am the landlord. If you still don't laugh, you better wake up. You know why? The reality is we are all selfish, but we don't always see it. This famous writer met up with his friend, and he was so excited. They spent 2 hours talking, and he said, I'm really sorry, I've been talking about myself. Now, let's talk about you. What do you think of my book? My friends, selfishness is all over the place. I have it, you have it. But here's the danger. Selfishness is a wrong belief. You believe that the key to happiness is when you put yourself above others. Why are people selfish? In their mind, I need to take care of myself. If I don't take care of myself, I'm going to lose it. And for me to be happy, I got to take care of number one. That's me. It's a real dilemma because the ways of God are different. In fact, the Bible prophesied the reality of what's going to happen today. Everybody, let's read this together. Realize this in the last days, meaning in the end times. What will happen? Everybody, the first characteristics, the first one mentioned, men will be lovers of self. That's us in the end times. Lovers of money, you see? Boastful, arrogant. Do you notice it's all connected with self? You want to boast, you're arrogant, you want money, it's all about self. Revilers, my goodness, disobedient to parents. How many of you are living with parents? Raise your hands. Higher, higher. I want higher, higher. You're living with parents. Now, I want you guys living with parents to focus on this verse. Everybody, let's read this together. Together. Ungrateful. Singles, how many of you have ever thanked your parents on a regular basis. Thank you for this place. Thank you for providing for me. Thank you for the food. I'm reminded of a true story that happened. The mother was giving, I don't want to be specific, but he was providing for the family. But the children don't show any appreciation. The children get angry when the mother does not give in to their desire. It's funny how selfish we can be. Continue reading. Unloving, everybody read. Unloving, irreconcilable. I never understood this until recently. I've seen people, they don't want to be reconciled. They want to remain apart. It's all about selfishness. They are hurt. They don't want to be reconciled. Unbelievable, even among believers. Now, whether they're believers or not, I don't know. Continue. Malicious gossips, without self-control, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. In other words, in the end times, people will be, everybody read, lovers of self.
Connect with CCF through the following websites. Jumpstart your spiritual journey by joining a small group.